What Peter Obi is saying is apt. I think he has a strong point. Niger State, flood. Oji, let me paint a picture for you this morning. Days after the flooding, decaying bodies were taken off the streets in Niger State, in Mokwa. Decaying bodies. The president did not visit the place. In fact, even Benue, we had to shout until the president finally decided, and they made a jamboree out of it. I mean, we're there, we're talking about the jamboree now. We talked about what transpired.
Yeah, with students.
So what he's saying invariably is that there's a time that the president sits and gets things done. You know, Nigerians like to have this false equivalence between presidents. Sometimes when it suits them, they will say, oh, there's flood in Nigeria, there's flood in America too. Compare with other presidents. Is this how they are always out every time? When the pertinent issues happen in there, they are not there. So President Tinubu has gone at the expense of taxpayers' money to go to St. Lucia, a country with less than 180,000 people, a country that is not even up to Ajah in population. He has gone with taxpayers' money. He's going to address a parliament of a country that is not up to Ajah in population. I mean,
yeah, this
what we are just saying, we are not saying don't travel.
Yeah.
We are not saying you can't go and do cultural ties. What we are saying is...
The VP went to Niger State.
Dr. Abati, what we are saying is...
The VP went there.
Dr. Abati, with due respect, it's the VP we voted for.
No, but the VP went there to represent the president.
Can't you see that it's the VP we voted for? But you see, when you say things like that, Dr. Abati, but when it's politics time, the president will go to Niger and campaign. But when it's distress time, he can't go to Niger and feel empathy with it.
I guess what we're saying is there's a time for everything.
There's a time for everything. And that's what Peter Obi was saying.
Go ahead.
So, you know, I always like to say two things can be true at the same time. So I think both things have merit. On the St. Lucia side, so last year St. Lucia was elected to the presidency of the executive board of UNESCO. And one of the people who led that campaign, that successful campaign, was Gilbert Shaguri, who the president has referred to as his as a development partner, not just him, to Nigeria. So a part of me feels like, well, is it possible that the trip to St. Lucia has something to do with Nigeria campaigning for a more visible role with UNESCO, deepening, you know, cultural exchanges and so forth, of which we stand to benefit from. There's a lot of visibility, partnerships and so forth that would come from, you know, deepening our ties with organizations such as UNESCO, especially because we know how much our cultural achievements have put us on the map globally. On the other part, I think it's also fair for Peter Obi and Nigerians to say that we'd like to see more of the president in different parts of Nigeria.
Yes.
I think both things can be true.
Yes.
Let's see you. Remember when he went to Benue State, there was the issue of the road. He couldn't actually get to Mokwa because the road was bad and so forth. So I think people are saying if you spend more time in different parts of Nigeria, you'd actually get a more realistic sense of the situation on the ground.
Especially with the heightened insecurity, just only recently with, you know, the death toll in Benue and Borno and all those northern states. Well,